So it's Thursday night for the Pro Tour. I'm in my hotel room here, about to go to sleep. I just wanted to do sort of a quick video log about sort of my thoughts and feelings and stuff leading up to the event. This is an event where I feel like, personally, at least, I have not done as much testing as I really would like. I only really was able to play test over the weekend a couple weeks ago, and then from sort of Monday to today. So really, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because Thursday is just not enough time to really, at least to figure out anything new. At least as far as like a deck building perspective goes, there's some tuning to be done, but you can't really build a new deck in a day, for the Pro Tour at least. So I really didn't feel like I had the chance to explore the different decks, all the different decks I wanted to try, and ultimately I'm playing the deck that was developed by the rest of the team, mostly during the period where they were playtesting in Las Vegas and I was working. But it's a blue-black-green control deck, sort of mid-range control style deck. So core cards are Sylvan Caryatid, Courser of Crucifix, then both major planeswalkers, Ashiok and Kiora. Prognostic Sphinx gives the deck really sort of hard to deal with finisher, then it has just a bunch of utility cards. Thoughtseize, Hero's Downfall, Silence the Believers, Bile Blight, Unravel the Ether, and I don't know, something else. Not really jumping to mind right now. Dissolve's got Dissolve in it. But anyway, it's not necessarily the sort of deck that I typically play. It has a lot of elements that I like. I like the fact that it can be very proactive with Ashiok and Kiora compared to a lot of sort of controlling type decks. It's more, proactive cards and flexible answers than it is, sort of trying to just take over the game control-wise. And I like that about it. I think that the deck has a lot of tools to combat a lot of the major sort of decks in the format. There's universal good answers like Hero's Downfall and Thoughtseize, as well as card advantage tools like Courser and the Planeswalkers. I think it's generally fairly well positioned against at least the decks that we expect to face, and doesn't really have, well, it doesn't necessarily have any amazing, powerful things going on in it individually. I feel like it has a lot of tools to deal with a wide variety of stuff that can be thrown at it, so that's appealing. But limited. Similarly, I would definitely like to have had more time to prepare, but I feel like I've gotten some good draft practice in, and we've had some good limited discussions about what the better cards in the new set are, the implications of that for the block in general. I'm hoping to draft as much green as possible, not just because I like green, but because I think green is the strongest overall color in the block, particularly with the new set. It has a lot of good commons in all the sets. I really like green-blue in particular. But I've had success drafting blue-black control, white-black control, whole variety of stuff. I hadn't had a huge amount of success with red until more recently this week, when I felt like I got a better handle with how to draft those decks. So I feel pretty comfortable going into draft, and don't feel amazing about the constructed format, but I feel like we have a solid deck. We don't have a deck that I'm super excited about, but we also don't have a deck that I think is weak or anything. I think that it has a lot of good tools going on. We certainly didn't break it, but I feel like we are at least prepared for the field that we anticipate being here. We expect probably mono black to be the most popular individual deck. Then varieties of Courser, Caryatid mid-range / late game decks, whether they're Naya decks or some of the Reanimator decks or whatever, Bant, etc., etc. I think the blue-white heroic, the Ordeal decks that have been popping up online will be pretty popular. I think Esper will be fairly popular. There'll be some sort of Enchantress decks. I tried to make an Enchantress deck work myself. That was the deck that I spent basically all of my playtesting time working on, but never really got it to a spot that I was happy with it, and eventually just didn't have enough time left to try and get it to work. So anyway, I feel good about it. Not the best I felt going into a Pro Tour, but certainly not the worst either. And everyone's pretty happy with the deck. We're just finalizing the last couple sideboard cards whether we're playing Mistcutter Hydra or Erebos or Psychic Intrusion or some combination of these. I was arguing that we should at least try Agent of Horizons against other control decks, just because a lot of times the games become really about jammed up boards with Prophetic Sphinx, Prognostic Sphinx, whatever its name is. And I also suggested trying not Crewfix. Which one is he? Phoenix. That's the one. Phoenix. Because when the games sell out, you just mill them right out. But the problem is the card isn't individually good enough on its own. Which is sort of how we got to Erebos, because it's a hard to deal with threat that you can play that clearly has a pretty big game effect on its own, because the games are often about just exchanging resources and who has the more of the cards that matter. And I think the Esper decks, this in the control mirrors, tend to have more card drawing and some more sort of individually game-ending cards, like because they have both Sphinx and Elspeth. But Courser and Caryatid give you mana advantage and sort of long game card drawing with this in selection with Courser. You have Kiora as well, who's not incredible but is good. And then you both sort of have the same blue and black cards. So, but anyway. That's sort of how things are, and I'm gonna head to sleep pretty soon, and get up and hopefully have a good day one of the Pro Tour. Generally had a good week of playtesting overall, and was able to get a bunch of good workouts in. I actually was up early every day, head to the gym, so I'm feeling good mentally, feeling good physically, and yeah, let's get to it. Got a Pro Tour to win, so here we go.